Hi, Phil from Dirty Drive Away. So I've not done one of these information / product review type videos for a while, so I thought I would bust one out. Anyway, what we got today is we have got the Xjet M5. This is a chemical dilution sprayer. Yeah, so basically all it is instead of downstreaming from your pump, you can connect this to the end of your trigger and thereby alleviating any need to run any form of chemical through your pump or your hoses or your trigger, anything like that. So it connects directly into the end of your trigger assembly or your lance, however you want to attach it, and all the components on there are either brass or stainless steel. So basically, yeah, you've got no need to run chemical directly through your machine. Now these are very expensive for what they are. You know, I've not taken it apart. I'm not going to take it apart. Everything's sort of like thread locked together. But typically, looking at this now, obviously I've got the Q spigot on the end, which is down here. That's the way I attach my lances to my trigger. You can pretty much mock this up to any way that you want to attach this to your trigger, be it M22 or, you know, even sort of some sort of quick release, 1/4 inch quick release, whatever you like. And then these are all stainless. Obviously the nozzle here is brass. So basically, yeah, you've got the trigger connection. You've got this stainless piece here. You've got a nozzle on the end, and then you've got a 1/4 inch quick release coupling on here with the propulsioner that goes in the end. Now there is a previous version of this nozzle which was just known as the Xjet. This is the M5 version, which has got a variable adjustable nozzle tip. So if you have a vario nozzle that you use on your in your setup, basically you can twist the head and you can get anywhere from like a 0-degree pencil jet up to about sort of 40 to 60 degree angle on the end. If I just sort of turn this round, you can just see here that if you twist this, it closes down, thereby enabling you to adjust the angle of the spray to either give you a nice sort of concentrated jet or a wide angle fan jet. Now I've used this a couple of times. So far, like I say, yeah, very expensive for what it is, because typically we've got is a vario nozzle, stainless spigot, stainless connection, and this kind of like a three-way piece in the middle. These are about 190 quid, so that's your nozzle jet. Comes with a set of these propulsioners here, funky little dilution ratio chart, and it also comes with some suction hose, which I shall just grab. It's too big to stick on the thing, but basically it comes with a load of suction hose. Also comes with this stainless 1/4 inch quick release and stainless steel with a Vitten sealed lever ball valve, and obviously stainless clamps on the end, and on the other end you've got this rubber and stainless suction inlet filter for your chemical. So let me just put that to the side. So your quick release on the end of your hose just simply connects straight into here, and then obviously this connects into your trigger. You can alter the amount of hose. I think it comes with about 5 meters of hose that you obviously put into your chemical of choice, and for the sake of this, it's going to be sodium hypochlorite. I mean, obviously you can dilute this to take any kind of chemical that you want, whether you're washing cars, sort of snow foam, that kind of stuff. But typically, obviously in this game, we're using it for sodium hypochlorite. Hence the reason why everything on there is stainless, apart from the nozzle tip. So obviously by the time it comes out the nozzle anyway, it's going to be fairly diluted. Sodium hypochlorite can react with brass. It can turn the brass black if you are using it neat. So hence the reason why the actual connections and the hose barbs that are on the end of the hose are stainless, because if they were brass, they would turn black pretty quick. Doesn't tend to corrode it too much, but it does turn them black. So hence the reason why you use stainless. Okay, moving on. So yeah, it comes with the propulsioners and the dilution chart here. It's a bit of a funny kind of dilution chart, to be fair. I'm not sure how accurate this is, and you would have seen in some of my other videos that I actually have got a dosatron, or sometimes known as a chemical clever injector. They're used in agriculture for basically dosing like medicines and stuff like that into cattle troughs and farm agricultural stuff. So you can set the dilution ratio. It's all water flow related. So as the water flows through, it's got a piston diaphragm thing up and down. I'm not going to go into what it is, but it's very accurate and it's very, very good. Obviously, the how quick the hypo comes out at the end of the trigger on the dosatron unit really depends upon the pressure coming in from your mains feed. So obviously, if you are using something like this Xjet M5, the only thing that's going to be governing how quick it comes out is the pressure and flow rate of your machine. So yeah, so basically, it comes with these proportioners, which all relate to the chart here, and depending upon the flow rate of your machine and depending upon what dilution ratio you want, would depend upon what coloured proportioner you stick in the end. And as you can see on this one, I have black in the end, which is it's not quite the biggest. It's the next one down. If you look at my chart here, you'll see that I'm using black. But yes, let's just get into a little bit on this. I have had discussions with the supplier about how these actually work. Like I say, I'm not overly convinced on how accurate this is, because obviously it's relying on a suction from the flow rate from your machine to pull the hypo out of the drum, and then obviously it's proportioned by the size of this jet. So there is going to be a side of error in how much it's going to be mixed, because I can't see it being able to be completely accurate. Now obviously my machine is 250 bar and it runs 23 litres a minute if you're on full throttle. So obviously when I bought it based upon the rates that they say online, which I think was about 19 to 25. You can pick which size. Inside here there is what they class was a proportioner, but it's typically just a jet that is obviously oversized for your machine, so you're not running full pressure, because if it was running 250 bar, I mean, you'd practically be cleaning the driveway with it rather than spraying it. So it's an oversized jet to basically reduce the pressure down. So obviously, according to this chart, 23 litres a minute, when I'm running a black, if you can see here where my finger is, if it's going to focus, 23 litres a minute with black, you're going to get an 8:1 ratio, or if you went for the grey, you would get a 4:1 ratio. Now, the issue I've got is even with the size 16 jet that's inside, which is obviously a lot bigger than my standard 065, it's still pretty high pressure. I mean, this will put the hypo down incredibly fast. And obviously if you're running at 23 litres a minute, you'll burn through a 20 litre drum of hypo in under 7 minutes. So although it's quick, you've got to be quick in applying it. So obviously when you're getting it down, you've got to either move very, very fast, or you've got to adjust the ratio for the machine. So obviously you would assume that you'd run it on full pressure, but after talking with the supplier, they say no, you can actually run it if you know what your flow rate is at a lower engine speed. So if you want to run it at, say, half throttle on my machine, I've done the flow test and everything into a bucket, is about 19 litres a minute. So they said you can basically run it half throttle, which will give you much, much less pressure, but then obviously you go by the 19 LPM chart. And this is from the supplier of the nozzle. But again, because it is still running 19 litres a minute, which is still a damn sight higher than what you get out of a garden tap, you're still putting down incredible amounts of hypo. So you will be burning through the hypochlorite quite quickly if you're not quick. Now obviously when I've used it, you do get a nice bit of foam. If you're using a surfactant, you'll get a nice, so you can see exactly where you're spraying it, which is really good. And it's obviously great if you are going to be using this on large areas. So if you've got a large block pave area, this will get it down bloody fast. You can crack on with your job. You're not got any worries. The bit that would worry me with something like this is because how far this thing can shoot the hypo. And obviously hypo is a chemical, and it can have reactions with grass, plants, PVC, plastic, that kind of stuff. If you look at the conversion chart on here, if you've got a 7 litre per minute machine and you put in your open or even the grey proportioner, you're getting 0.8 to 1, you know, that's bloody strong to be firing out, you know, at the pressure and the rate that this does. You know, that's the only bit that will concern me. If you put this thing onto a zero jet, you could fire this up onto the roof, which, you know, if you're doing, you know, sort of low dilution ratio, soft washing, you know, PVCs, that kind of stuff, that's fine. But if you're not careful with this, you can spray this in places that you just do not want it to go. You know, if you are running, you know, 3 to 1, 8 to 1, 4 to 1, whatever kind of ratio, you know, you're going to be okay. It's not going to have much drastic effect on stuff like plants and stuff like that. But you get the wrong tip in here, and you know you're running at a lot lower LPM range, you will be finding that you could be putting down hypo very, very strong, and it could end up going in the wrong places. So you do have to be careful. You don't have a great deal of control with this setup. Unlike the Dosatron, where it comes out, you can put it into like a garden type hose lock style trigger, you know, and then you've got more control with it. You can see where it's going. It's not as high pressure. So you're going to see me. I'm going to show this out in the field because I've got a nice big job with some large block pave areas. So we're going to show you how quickly this can get the hypo down. I'm still in the kind of testing phase with it. I have used it a few times, but like I say, you've got to be pretty careful as to how much hypo you burn through. Like I say, even at 8 to 1, because it comes out so quickly and so fast. You do tend to find that it's almost like you can't move the trigger fast enough because you're outputting like 19 litres or 23, whatever throttle speed you've got it on. You're putting out 19 litres a minute. And if your dilution ratio, you know, 3 to 1, you're going to be whipping through the hypo, you know, because 19 litres a minute and you're using a 20 litre drum, you've only got to do the maths and you'll find that you're going to be going through it pretty damn fast. So you do have to be really quick with where you're spraying it, which again can lead to errors, spraying it where you don't want it, and obviously getting the angle right and stuff like that is, you know, it's key. It's not really a jet that you can just quickly just chuck in and just spray away. You've got to be a little bit careful with what you're doing with it. But it is, from what I've used, it is a great tool, and it will get your chemical down extremely fast. So yeah, that's it. Let's get out on the field and we'll show you what this thing can do. So here we are. We are out today here in Green Street Green. You may sort of recognise this location from a video that I did about 4 years ago when I first introduced my Fausch Point Speed 5. So yeah, we are back here. We are redoing this entire complex. It's about 700 square metres. The weather is just starting to rain. It's not going to be favourable today, but basically I wanted to do the demonstration with the Xjet M5, and if you've got the Q spigot release, it really is as simple as connecting it just like that. Really, really handy, these quick release couplings. They make your life so much easier, quick in, quick out. So basically it's starting to rain. I might have to wait a few minutes to see if it's going to ease off. We're going to get hooked up, put you on a slightly higher camera, try and get a wider shot. I've got my video glasses on. So even though it's raining, moody, fortunately they are tinted, so I can do a bit of POV video as well. But yeah, so hopefully let's get some of this hypo down, and we'll show you how quick this thing can get it down. So we are set, hypo's ready, trigger's ready. Let's spray some of this stuff down. So as you can see, as quick as that, it really puts that hypo down. Obviously there's a section up here, there's sections up by the small pathway that leads to the front door, very close to the grass, and as you can see, this really puts it down so fast you've got very, very little control over where it's going to go. So I will be breaking out the dosatron just to finish off the small areas, because I've got more control with that. I can do right around the edge of the grass with it. I can go right up to the front door without any fear of it spraying all over the grass and stuff like that. I did give the grass a pre-wetting before I started doing this, so it has had a bit of a wetting. Obviously this is a pre-treat rather than a post-treat, so obviously once you start doing the actual main jet washing, it will start diluting itself anyway, and all the water will run off down there anyway and towards the grass, so it is going to dilute it quite a lot by the time it gets anywhere near the grass. For concentration, this is got the 8:1 proportioner in it, so it's not overly strong, but it's enough to give this quite a decent pre-treat. So as you can see, gets it down fast, great tool on large areas, and that took barely a couple of minutes. Only downside, from standard it comes with only 5 meters of hose, so you're forever kind of pulling the hypo drum around. You can upgrade that to any length of hose you want. I've got 10 meters on order, so I'm going to sort of hook up something whereby the actual strainer stays in the drum with a quick release connection, that kind of stuff. If I get a chance, I will show that on this video, but it's not arrived yet, so that should be coming in the next day or two. But I'll show you how I'm going to hook that up. So you've got 10 meters of hose coming from the hypo drum. Should be more than enough. Obviously with the high pressure jet wash hose, and you're trying to control the trigger and the suction hose, it can get a little bit cumbersome. So obviously you have to kind of keep pulling the jet wash hose back and try and keep it out of the way. Obviously this dilution ratio, it's not going to have any sort of drastic effects on the hose or anything like that. And you're going to be wetting it again soon anyway. It's only the neat stuff you've got to worry about going through the hoses. So yeah, that's it. There's no point in me even showing you the dosatron at the moment. I'll probably do another video in the future comparing the M5 and the dosatron together. The dosatron is by far a more accurate system. It's more controlled. It takes a little bit longer. So if you haven't got any grass, if you've only got stones and stuff like that, then obviously the M5 is a great tool. If you've got lots of grass around you, or plants or bushes, that kind of stuff, and you are using on the slightly higher dilution ratios, you have got to be a little more careful. But yeah, so that's it from me. You'll probably see some other bits coming up in the video. I'm not going to sign off. But yeah, hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch up with you guys soon. Right, so this is the way I've set up my my hypo drum. I've got my empty drum here, and I have this top of the lid of the drum. I've got a 1/4 inch quick release connector on there, and I've got a piece of stainless tube, and I've had a friend weld in the hose barb on the end, which goes into a 1/4 inch thread on the end, so I can screw that on. And obviously got your strainer here on the end as well. So all that would do will go straight into the drum and screw on like so. You then have, which I've now got 10 meters of hose, a quick release on the end, and you've got your quick release with your shut-off valve on there. That just clicks into there, so you've got no fear of the hose coming out of the drum when you're working. You then got 10 meters of hose, so you haven't got to worry, you've got plenty of length. Obviously not everyone can make up a stainless bar like this, so you could just factor in hose barb, PVC pipe, same again on the end there. Just use some Jubilee clips or the fuel line clamp. As long as they're stainless, you could knock up the same thing, just using a piece of pipe. But obviously like this, you can just drop it in and screw it in, and you can still carry your drum around with no fear of it splashing everywhere. So yeah, that's it really. Nice little upgrade there. Make it easy. Right, that's it for me. Happy cleaning. Bye for now.